time it is, you know what time it is. Talking to you guys about Ready to Love. We're dealing with Nyya rocks KG's world, and things get a little bit crunchy for the good old KG Smooth.
Scattled. Nyya, you said you were not interested in Chris.
Did I say that? No, I did not say that.
You were obliging his interest.
Absolutely.
And so we want to talk about some of the things that happened on the reunion that we really want to break down for you. Guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, you share, you subscribe, you click on that bell button for notifications of what uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, well, you got the minerals. You got a minerals. All right, cool. Let's get into the video. So with the reunion, we saw KG, Nyya, we saw Edwin all have a conversation about the antics of Nyya on the show. And I think one of the things that we saw was KG was really, really hurt by the antics of Nyya. I mean, I think he didn't get to see a lot of the clips until the reunion, and the way that he looked at certain points, you could tell that he was cast down. You could tell that he was severely affected by what Nyya had done towards him. And I think the main crux of the issue here is that Nyya at a point said, I don't know that man. She basically doing a Kiki Palmer right there, saying, I don't know that man, Your Honor.
Wasn't never gonna hope about nobody. I don't know Chris. I was obliging his interest.
You were obliging his interest. Wow.
There were people
when really she had, been with him, giving him pecks, and some kisses, and they had been conversating and going in a certain direction. Was it not her who, out of her own mouth, said, this is new for y'all, but we've been doing this, And I think this is where protect your heart really comes in, ladies and gentlemen. You got to protect your heart. And now KG said, obviously, he's all in family, he's all in business, he's all in with relationships, and that's not a problem. But on this show, because it's a game show, because it's a game show competition at the same time as well, unfortunately, the backfire of that, similar as what's happened to Rashid as well, is that people are playing games. They're here for business opportunities. They're here to be seen. They're here for connections. Love really is on the back burner for a lot of these people. I'm going to be honest with you. From what we're seeing, love is like the extra bonus that comes with it. Like, I'm going to network, I'm going to business, but the bonus here is that love could potentially come to my door. And so I'm open to it rather than people actually exploring love. And I think that's what's really happened here. But you can tell by his body language when you watch the video, he's not happy, right? And the word is hurt, okay? And so the kiss that he shared even with Nyya, they showed a clip and he realized, okay, hold on a minute, you gave me a peck, but you've been kissing Edwin. And he didn't also know that the situation after he had the date with Nyya, and he said about the 50-50, she went to Edwin, and he hadn't realized that at all. He didn't know that was coming.
I didn't know about the date with her and Edwin, so seeing the full-on lips, meanwhile I'm getting these petty-ass pecks, I was like, oh.
So when he's watching it, he's like, wait, hold on a minute. I was getting kisses, but this guy's got a full-on blow, like full-on lips blood. Do you know what I'm saying? And at that point, I think it clocked and it dawned. Hold on a minute. So this girl was running game on me, number one. Number two, that's clear evidence that the girl wasn't feeling me the way she was feeling Edwin, because the kind of kiss that she gave Edwin was completely different to the kiss that she gave to Chris. And it's something I noticed early on in the show, that the very first kiss they had on the bench, I was like, okay, cool. But then when I saw 2 or 3 kisses, I was like, you notice that these kisses are pecks. And I was like, oh, is it him or is it her? I couldn't tell who it was. Although I saw her initiating it, I still didn't know who exactly was controlling the storyline of how do we kiss? Do we kiss in long spatches? Are we kissing snogs? Are we just, having a peck? I wasn't sure to say 100% it was Nyya or it was Chris.
Hearts in his eyes, everything. And I actually commented, Chris, I said, man, I appreciate the way that you have no problem engaging and being vulnerable. For him to go in like that, I admired it, just as his brother.
Spoke about that. The men actually complimented Chris on being able to be open and emotional. I think this is one of the reasons why what Chris is going to show some men is why I'm not going to open up to a girl. Why should I open up to a girl and she does me dirty like this? Because that's what Chris did. He opened himself up to a point where now a girl gets to trounce you, okay? And let me be very frank, that's what Nyya did, yeah? As much as she may say at the end, you know, I'm open to dating both men, but you trounced him. When someone says you were gun-ho and you're like, I wasn't gun-ho, you know what I'm saying? Chris who? Like, see, it may be bantering, but you've bantered to a point, you've taken someone's heart and ripped it open. I said the same thing about Kafani, and I said the thing about Adriana. It's all well and good you're playing the game. I said the thing about Jay especially. I said this, like, it's all well and good playing the game, but just know there are consequences. You can't pretend as if you're clean and there ain't no blood on your hands, because when you play the game, yeah, you're entitled to play the game if you want to. I mean, whether we agree or disagree doesn't make a difference. You're entitled to play the game, but when you play it, you must know there are consequences. There is no clean getaway. You're going to hurt someone, and to pretend as if you didn't do anything is malign. Yo, you know the word, cuz. It's pretending to be naive when really you're not. You're very much conscious and aware of the impact of your behavior. And I felt Nyya was also enabled by the cast. And here's why I'm going to say that. In group settings, certain people can do certain things and get away with it. Nyya's one of those people. Got away with a lot. And the reason why I think she got away with it so much is simply because she's liked in the group. Nyya is one of the favourites in the group. So she got on with a lot of the people there. So when it came to actually addressing her behaviours, you can see that the disconnect, or to say the people looking at her with disapproval, that's as far as it goes. And I think without someone saying, Nyya, look, what you did to my guy, what you did to the guy, out of order, I don't think there's going to be any change there. Do you understand? Because you can see the disapproving faces. You see Jay looking a bit like, what? Like, you see Alex looking at one point like, what is going on? You see a couple others as well who show their disapproval through their expression.
Anybody else surprised to see Nyya acting like she didn't have a connection with Chris?
He was all in and
From
just,
day one.
hearts in his eyes, everything. And I actually commented.
And it's funny because Tommy asked a very specific question. He said, is anybody else surprised? Now, when he asked that question, it came with an angle. Because what he's saying is anybody else, meaning I was surprised, anybody else in this room surprised, but when she said, she was denying basically Chris, and that's when everyone was like, okay, like, yo, like, yeah, I was surprised. You even hear Joy chime in, right? So everybody at that point chimed in. But remember, the same situation happened in the tavern when Simone and Alex tried to speak up for KG and KG Smooth, and what happened? They were instantly shut down. So maybe the way that Nyya may be a little bit volatile, in the sense of the fact that the way she can come look, that she can put a wall up real quick and shut people down real quick. Maybe that's part of the reason why people don't want to entertain a conversation and try to dialogue on that particular path. Because let me be very frank with you, you are entitled to change and have as many partners as you want. I always say this as well, right? You're entitled to do that. Just know that there are feelings attached to people when they're getting close to you.
It's kind of tough. We want to be tough and withhold our feelings about, women. And he shared that. It's
so crude to go to the point of saying, I didn't know I had an effect on you. Even though you were lip-syncing him, doing little dances, and you did another little dance in the chair. It just showed a lack of care. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just showed a lack of care and a lack of respect for KG as well. And I'm not trying to make it... I'm not trying to be one-sided. I really want to present the idea that when you are playing the game, you have to be conscious that there are consequences to the game. And so Nyya's position is so much different to Denise's. With Denise, when she's doing stuff, everybody seems to be on her neck. When Nyya does stuff, yeah, people on her neck, but they're not saying nothing. They're not going to voice their feelings. They're not going to voice their sentiment. Do you get what I'm saying? But although we did see in part one when she did do what she did, the boys had a little chat, etc., etc. But with Nyya, with her behavior, it seems like everyone's come to a point of understanding of her behavior, or some of them at least. And the reason why, I guess, obviously, is because she did share with the group that, I guess, that she wanted to leave. She's had problems with the production for the longest time. But at the same time, At the same time, okay, you know, we need to be holding each other accountable as a group when we're together. Do you know what I'm saying? But her popularity stops people from saying something. It's almost like being in school again. Do you know what I mean? When you're in school and that popular person does something and someone else who's not as popular does the same thing, the person who's not popular will get you know, cussed out for it. But the person who's popular, nobody wants to say anything because nobody wants to lose their status. Nobody wants to get rolled over. Nobody wants to have that argument. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I get it. And so obviously when a couple of people chime in, Adriana comes to a different point. She says, obviously, look, you know, this is a great experience. You know, KG can learn how to move around and get with other and speak with other people and date other people, which I totally get. She's right. KG could have explored other options a little bit more than he actually did on the actual show. And I think that was a flaw of his game plan coming into it. What I would say is that it's not an excuse for the way she treated him. So here's the thing. Her leaving for someone else, not the problem. The problem, what we're discussing here, is not her choice of dating. It is the way she did it. You see, I can leave you, and I can leave you gracefully, and I can leave you with a distaste in your mouth. Okay, what she did as a leaving present was a distaste. As to why Tommy had to ask her, "Do you regret anything that you did?" To which she said, "No." Do you regret the way that, do you regret the way that you left? Did you regret the way that you exited? And she said, no, right? But as she was leaving, did she leave in a grace? No, she didn't. Forget the Rashid part, because that was comfortable. I think that was a bit of a banter. But you left by saying I had no connections with either of them. But the only part you said that you were defensive over was the boyfriend situation. Not necessarily what you said in the confessionals.
Hey, on a serious note, Nyya, do you wish you would have handled this differently?
No way. I handled
The
it.
elimination part? I mean,
No.
What about you, Edwin? She said she wasn't into you.
Which is why when Edwin's looking at you, which is why Edwin looks at her, and she looks at Edwin with a little bit of a smile, but you can see Edwin's uncomfortable, right? Even though he says later on, we had a conversation about it. But you're uncomfortable, sir. Why are you uncomfortable watching it back, even though you've had a conversation about it? Because the truth of the really matter is, we conform sometimes outwardly, but inwardly, we have a different mindset. So we're conforming, but inwardly, we have a different mindset, okay? And so...
It was very emotional with me realizing that I fumbled the ball, because I did like 3 confessions that day. Like I made
a point which I really wanted to address, and this is, I think, one of the reasons why I want to be able to get to KG and be like, hey, bro, KG said obviously he admits fumbling the ball, and I'm like, no, you didn't fumble the ball, bro. All that happened was you stated your truth. I'll pay the mortgage. Is that how you thought? Hold it down. Don't change it for the gal. You understand? Yeah, and you know, unless you made a genuine mistake, which I don't think you did, but the type of girl that you're going for, because you wanted her, you decided to change. Problematic in this sense. There is no problem adjusting your viewpoints. The problem is when it looks like you are willing to shift at any given time and place. This girl did a whole 360, it seems, on you, bro. So when you obviously said, again, I will say this again, your truth is your truth. If you're Dutch, you're Dutch. If you're playing 50-50, you're 50-50. Don't let these girls flip you, because let me tell you something. The most attractive guy is the guy that holds it down, regardless of what women say. Yeah, it's a guy that doesn't get bent. It's a guy that doesn't move at the hatchet of a woman's voice. It's the guy that says, listen, that's you. If that's what you feel, that's what you feel. I feel the way I feel. You have your truth, I have my truth. That is the most attractive guy. The guy that's going to flip and the flop is not for a woman, for most women, because when they flip and the flop, it means that you will always flip and flop on every subject. And you look like a yes. So if you meant it that you're going to pay the mortgage and she'll pay the certain bills, fine. Say that and hold it down. You understand? Don't let no one change your viewpoint. As far as concerned, listen, when you hold your viewpoint, there are people in the crowd that will like, no, KJ, I don't agree. And silently, they will agree with you. Silently, they will like you. You'd be surprised. Hold your own, hold your standards. If that's what your standard is, hold your own. Yeah. You know, but even Joy, like I said, at that point said, you know, she was surprised by the money situation. And then when she started speaking, it was almost as she was speaking from a place of under. And I began to explain, that it's because other people came to her with a report, and then that's what annoyed her. Cool, all right, it's annoying you, but why are you saying, Chris, I don't know that man? why not have that conversation? Obviously, you said, obviously, when I saw Edwin, I put his hand down, I came to you and said, are you okay? And he said he's not okay. So how do we go from he's saying he's not okay to you going into the tavern to say, I don't know that man, I'm not gung-ho over Chris? How do we get there? No, deep it. We've gone from, I saw you said you weren't okay. All right, cool, because you spoke about it to other people. All right, cool.
And I think my energy shifted because I had others coming to me about something he and I had already fixed, and he went outside the house to still talk about it.
And then now in the tavern, I don't know that man. Make it make sense. Do you see what I'm saying? When Tommy obviously says, that, you weren't interested, and she was like, when did I say that? And he said, well, when you said obliged his interest. And that's the key point where KG actually really got hurt, when he realized, hold on a minute, so his girl's been playing me. And this again highlights what I'm talking about, that it became a very callous and cold movement from Nyya. Yeah, because when you say I was obliging his interest, you're basically saying, listen, I was just having a bit of fun. I was just, listen, I was just, I was just wasting my time with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? You were passing the time. You were a placeholder. And look, again, you are entitled to do what you want, but know there are consequences to what you're saying now. For any man listening to this, you never go back to a girl like that. You never encourage it. You never invite it. You never indulge in it. Don't ever when a girl does that to you. When a woman does it, I like Nyya. I think she's cool. We have even conversations in the background. But I'm gonna tell you this now. If I'm any guy there, you don't go to a girl like Nyya. Not after that. She can't tell you that she's obliging your interest and you go back. Nope, you don't, because that coldness will happen again. You understand? The first time, fool me. Second time, you're the fool. You understand? I hope it's the right way around. I'm up that way. You know what I mean? And so you will see that obviously even Tommy got defensive. Watch how he shifts in his seat when he asked the question. He had to reshuffle his seat, right? Because even he became defensive on behalf of KG. I knew he didn't like her action.
You were not interested in Chris.
Did I say that? No, I did not say that.
You were obliging his interest.
Absolutely.
Did he try to fix it?
He fixed it right away.
Okay.
And I think
just by the way he asked the question, and just by the way they shifted in his seat as well, just showed that obviously when he said about the obliging, if you listen to the tone that he even put on, because you said obviously you obliging his interest, when he put that extra tone on it, he stressed on those words. What he was saying was, hold on a minute, wait, you've been moving mad and you're telling me now that you actually that you are interested. What are you trying to say? There's a bit of confusion here. Like, what's going on? Yeah. Again, this is her truth. And so, again, I can understand that and I can rock with it. But her truth comes at the expense of somebody's heart, right? And in a way that I don't think needs to happen. In a way I don't think needs to happen, right? We all have our truths where someone will get hurt, right? Being black and saying someone who's white, listen, racism exists and, you're part of the racism construct. Someone might get hurt. But I'm not here telling you I'm obliging your interest. Two different things. You know what I'm saying? Obliging the interest, completely different.
Is that where the tension came
that's
from?
Where
That's where
I was
the tense responses
because I didn't want to talk about that in front of everyone. I wanted to talk with Chris like, baby, we're good. But
and then obviously we get to see that. And I want to give a flip side. Loose lips sink ships. You guys know I always say this. Loose lips sink ships. So if KG was out here we saw him talking to Simone, we saw him talking to Joy, we saw him talking to Alex, and that got back to Nyya, yes, it could be loose lips sink ships, because I think the girls went probably back to Nyya, had a conversation with her. And why did Nyya probably take offense of it? Maybe because she felt like, you know what, I'm going to look like the bad person, even though I shouldn't look like a bad person, and he's made me look like that, right? Instant cut off. You know what I'm saying? Like, the tavern doesn't make sense. The energy she brought there don't make sense for her being frustrated. Of course, other people brought it to you, but address that then. Why are you saying you don't know that man? Do you know what I mean? But there must be another side of Nyya maybe that we're not seeing. Maybe that's why Edwin is locked onto that. That's why he's so happy and comfortable to go after Nyya and want to continue dating. Or at least they've dated in the past. After seeing the video where he's also getting cussed out too. So we'll discuss that in another video as well. But KG says that really at the end, which is really funny. After when she said obviously she's willing to date both of them, he said, I'm looking, but I'm waiting to be found. And here's the truth. He meant what he said. Again, He meant what he said. Now, someone might say it's a Freudian slip. I don't think so. He meant what he said.
Waiting, you know, I'm not looking, but I'm here to be found.
You gonna find. They not gonna find you. He seeketh. The other way around, baby. We got to work on that.
I said, I'm not looking, but I'm here.
He's not looking. He's waiting to be found. Yeah. Some guys are just not the hunters. They want to be found. They're not out there to go and hunt. Some girls will be like, wait a minute, why? Guys should be... I'm like, listen, that's him. I can't say... I'm not saying I agree with that. I personally think you have to be a bit more proactive. But I do get the sentiment that obviously... You know, you can be in a place where you're not looking for it, but it finds you in the sense of the fact that someone comes across your path and you're like, oh, we connect, we work, right? In that sense. But he meant what he said. He's not going to be proactive. He's going to be reactive. You understand? So, like I said, hold what you mean, say what you mean, and hold it down. Do you understand? Appreciate guys, stay locked and stay loaded.